Greetings ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs and I welcome you guys to another Fire Emblem character spotlight. This character received an enormous amount of requests and I am puzzled to see that so many people want to see me cover him, but hey, if that's what you really want then I shall deliver. Today we're taking a look at the secluded dark mage Knoll. Knoll is a very interesting character in that his backstory is closely linked to Prince Lyon of Grado. Through Knoll's very few and limited supports, we are given a glimpse into the backstory and motivations of the game's main protagonists. Knoll was born and raised in Grado, though the game tells us next to nothing about his childhood. The only thing we know for sure is that he served Emperor Vigarde of Grado as one of his royal mages, devoted to medicine, science and other arts. Sometime before the events of the Sacred Stones, Emperor Vigarde of Grado fell very ill and his condition grew increasingly worse, to the point where his royal physicians could do nothing to improve his health. This drove his son, Prince Lyon, into a mad quest for knowledge, trying to find a way to save his father. Lyon tasked a team of royal mages to help him find a cure for Vigarde's illness, and in this team of mages was Knoll, a relatively young apprentice who had risen fast through the ranks due to his natural talent and intelligence. The royal mages, along with Knoll, started working with the energy surrounding the Sacred Stone of Grado, which, unbeknownst to them, contained the evil spirit of the Demon King. Through these energies, they found that they could cast spells enabling them to look into the future. The first vision they saw was that of a terrible storm approaching the Grado coasts, which resulted in Prince Lyon shutting down the port and docking all ships. While the people complained, the storm that the royal mages had foreseen did arrive, and thanks to the vision, many lives were saved. Shortly after, the royal mages foresaw another vision. This one much more terrible than the last. This one was of a massive earthquake hitting Grado, so grand that it split the entire nation in two, and killed countless people in the process. Since Grado was a nation known to suffer from light earthquakes, combined with the fact that the last vision they saw did come true, the royal mages along with Knoll and Lyon were terrified and increased their efforts to find a solution to this problem. Prior to this, the royal mages had not been allowed to work with the stone directly, but after Vigarde passed away from his illness, Lyon, along with Knoll, decided to enter the sacred chamber and retrieve the stone itself. But to Knoll's surprise, Lyon picked up the stone and shattered it, and in the process allowing the Demon King to enter his body. With his newfound powers, Lyon revived Vigarde's corpse into that of a puppet emperor, fooling his subjects into believing he had cured his father. Many debate whether the visions the royal mages saw when experimenting with the stone's energies were indeed sent by the Demon King himself. If this is true, the Demon King apparently has the ability to look into the future, which is quite interesting. But we're getting off the rails here. This is a spotlight about Knoll, not Lyon or the Demon King, but their stories are so intertwined it's difficult to tell one without mentioning the other. By now, Knoll realized that something was terribly wrong with Lyon, and it's quite unclear how much he actually understood, but foolishly he decided to protest against Lyon's actions, which of course got him thrown into a cell and marked for execution. Luckily for him, Prince Ephraim of Rennes laid siege to the castle, killed the animated corpse of Emperor Vigarde, and freed Knoll from his cell. Upon seeing Ephraim, Knoll decided to join his cause and share with him what little he knew about Lyon's experiments. Knoll would accompany Ephraim and Erica in their quest to find Lyon, and would eventually assist the twins in destroying the Demon King. After the events of the Sacred Stones, he returned home to his homeland of Grado to continue his work. Sadly, the earthquake he and the other mages had foreseen did occur, but it wasn't quite as devastating as they had first thought. Knoll dedicated his remaining life to help rebuild the nation, and also continued his quest for knowledge. He would live a secluded and lonely life away from the company of others. Knoll is a young man seemingly in his mid-20s. He hides himself in a dark garb and appears to have a rather frail build. His hair is short and his eyes are a mixture between blue and black. Knoll's personality is rather secluded, as he keeps mostly to himself. He is obviously a quite intelligent and curious person, but compared to other dark magic users in the series, he seems to be a little bit more humane. Either dark magic on Magwell doesn't affect people the same way it does on Alib, or Knoll simply hasn't delved deep enough into it to be properly affected. As a unit, Knoll is actually pretty bad, though still perfectly usable as Sacred Stones is a very easy game, even on hard mode. But comparing his base stats and growths to other units that join around the same time, he simply appears very lackluster. His base stats are simply put not good. He is extremely frail, with a base luck of 0 and a defense of 2. He will be doubled consistently by the enemies he'll encounter and even get one-shotted and criticaled by some. His base constitution slows him down by 1 point merely from wielding a normal flux tome, putting his base speed at 7, which is horrendously low. In the growth rate department, he is sadly nothing special either. His magic and resistance growth is decent, but every other stat simply falls short in comparison. In particular, his horrible speed growth of 35% will hamper his offense greatly. He'll hit pretty hard when he hits, but he will seldom double unless he is given a body ring and a pair of speed rings. Knoll's usefulness is reduced further by the fact that dark magic simply isn't very good in the Sacred Stones. The Luna Tome has effectively had its hit and crit ratings halved, and the ultimate S-rank tome Gleipnir has a ridiculous weight of 20, meaning it's impossible to double with it even if Knoll somehow manages to cap his speed. On top of that, Gleipnir is the only sacred weapon in the game that isn't effective against monsters, which is pretty much the only enemies you'll be fighting towards the endgame. Knoll can promote to either a druid or a summoner, both classes having a very similar promotion gains and ends up with the same staff rank. The druid class has a slightly higher magic cap, which Knoll will definitely reach, and allows him to wield anime magic. This, however, is completely useless, as there's almost never a reason to use it over dark magic. Summoner, on the other hand, is the perfect choice for Knoll. Phantoms are fantastic. Enemies will always target them over anything else, making them perfect decoys, and they can even dodge reliably at higher levels, allowing them to keep multiple enemies busy. They are essentially flying units capable of passing through terrain, making them very versatile, not to mention summoning them provides a little bit of experience to the summoner, which is always nice. My advice would be to simply promote Knoll to a summoner the moment you get him, as he is already level 10 and ready to go, not to mention you can steal a guiding ring in the chapter prior to his recruitments. The promotion gains will allow him to suck slightly less, and the Phantoms plus staff utility can make Knoll a very decent supporting unit. Not to mention he can start working on his staff rank immediately, allowing him to possibly wield some better staves like Warp and Physics in the late game. Thank you for watching this Fire Emblem character spotlights. Let me know who you want featured in the next episode by telling me in the comments section. If you would be so kind as to give this video a like, that also helps out my channel a ton, and if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be automatically notified when the next video is released. At any rate, my name's been Mangs, and I'll see you guys next time.